Okay, so this is going to be a different video. This other day, a friend of mine wanted to buy a phone.
Do you have the stuff?
Yes. Take it. 1 lakh only.
Too expensive.
Take this.
Yeah, well look, poor to you. This is so cheap.
Take it. What's your budget? Tell me or else bugger off.
अरे वही तो problem है. I don't know my budget.
Yeah, the friend didn't have a budget. But with mid-range phones getting flagship features like curved display, IP rating, eSIM, wireless charging and all of that, the confusion now is how much should you spend on a phone? 10,000? 20,000? 30,000? 1 lakh rupees. Like how much is too much? Well, to clear this confusion, we did a very interesting test. We picked up 3 phones in each category. This Redmi 12 around 15,000, Moto H40 around 30,000 and the all-new S24 Ultra more than 1 lakh. And we compared them. The results are very surprising. By the end, you will know what extra you are getting going from budget to flagship and what is that sweet spot. No pun intended. Now, before we get to anything, the first major difference you will notice is in the whole unboxing experience, and it's not what you think. On the flagship one, all you get is the phone, some paperwork, charging cable, premium SIM ejector tool, that's about it. But in the Redmi and the Motorola, you also get a back cover, a charging brick. Redmi also has a pre-applied screen protector, so you are getting more by paying less here. Now this no charger trend started in the name of saving the environment, but it is BS in my opinion. I would prefer if you had the choice at least, just like the carry bag option on the Zepto and Blinkit. If I want it, I'll just check it, or you just leave it off by default. Now what I think happens is, if someone can afford to buy a flagship, brands are like, this person has lots of money, he can also afford to buy a charger separately. But sadly, I feel couple of years more down the line, this trend will move down to budget and mid-range phones. So slim trim boxes incoming in 3, 2, 1. Moving on from unboxing, the one area where I thought there would be a huge difference is in build quality. So let's test that out. So we'll blindfold you.
Again?
Someone commented that you look like Ninja Turtle.
I do. One of
Yes.
my favorite.
How much is this? How much?
Maybe 5.
Can't say it's okay.
Okay. ये Samsung का लग रहा है मुझे.
This one.
Yeah, this one.
This one? This one.
By touch and feel, I can pretty much guess this is the S24 Ultra, so this is the most expensive.
If you want to see, contact. Shit. So now the whole point of this blind test was, by the end of the day, by touching the camera module or the edges, people were trying to guess the brand. And if they knew that the brand is expensive, they thought that the phone is expensive. It had nothing to do with the quality of materials used or whether it's a glass bag, plastic bag or anything. Okay, so apart from this, the flagship phones like the S24 Ultra have a few extra bells and whistles here and there. It has a titanium armor frame. You get top-end glass protection, which in 2 to 3 years down the line tend to last better. So flagship build quality, suppose, is like a 10 on 10. In that aspect, the Moto H40 is like 7 to 8, which is still great. Like you get a curved design, glass back, IP68 rating and all the top level stuff. That being said, I must mention that the phones in this price point, like the Realme 12 series and all, come with vegan leather back, which in first impression makes the phone feel premium in hand. However, there are complaints that they are very prone to scratches or they get dirty pretty quickly. But if you are in the habit of using a case, everything should be fine. Oh, do you use a phone case? Let me know in the comment section. And the Redmi 12 for the price has really good build. At around 30,000, it has a glass back, side-mounted fingerprint scanner and all of that. Plus phones in this price range also come with a headphone jack, so that's like a win-win in my book. The only thing at this price point is you will not get curved display, IP68 rating, metal frame and all of that. So even though the in-hand feel is good, durability wise or even looks wise, it is not as good as the Edge 40 or the S24 Ultra. Like still 6 out of 10. Coming to the display, let's do a fun little experiment. So I'll play the same video on all the 3 phones and this is a blind test to see if Team TW can identify which is the flagship phone. So now we have a setup, like this is blind display test. You cannot see
High
what
production
this
quality.
Yeah, you cannot see what these 3 things are. Just based on the display, which phone do you think is the most expensive one?
The middle one looks the most vibrant and the most bright.
I don't know about the other two, but the middle one is really looking like a premium display.
I will prefer the second one. जो middle one.
The worst, I think, for me would be the bottom one.
Okay, the bottom one does not look that good.
Worst. Third, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, it is pretty evident that the Redmi 12 is not as good as the other two because good phones in this price range have an LCD display. These two are AMOLED displays. And this, in my opinion, is the biggest difference moving from the budget because hands down, AMOLED is better than LCD. Also, most of the phones at under 15,000 price range will have just one speaker. So the whole video watching experience is just gets the job done territory. But what about these two? They both have stereo speakers, both have HDR displays, high refresh rate, like which is the better one? Well, that's the thing. The difference in a display from a 30,000 phone to 1 lakh is very little. Like you have options for curved display or flat display. Also, phones in the 30,000 price range have smaller bezels too. The only place would be the brightness levels. Like the S24 Ultra has 2600 nits of peak brightness, whereas the Moto Edge 40 has 1200 nits. But honestly, in regular usage, the difference in display quality is not that big. Like from a movie watching standpoint, I would say both of these are very good. You will not be disappointed anywhere. So then why go for the flagship? Major reason, camera. First of all, you'll see significant differences in the hardware in all the three phones. First is the hardware itself. Under 15,000 phones like the Redmi 12 doesn't have an ultra wide angle lens, whereas both H40 and S24 Ultra have an ultra wide angle camera. However, one point to note is while the H40 does have an ultra wide angle lens, few phones in the under 30 price segment doesn't have an ultra wide angle lens like the iQOO Neo 7. They cut resources in that part to give you better performance. We'll come to all of that in just a moment. Next, picture quality. I mean, just have a look at these photos. H40 and S24 Ultra's photos are better than Redmi. Like we took these photos in bright sunlight, and H40 I would still say has good looking photos. It has added colors in the sky and all of that. But overall, I would say these are still presentable photos. Even if you go to portrait mode, the S24 Ultra and H40 are better. Redmi's pictures are well okay at best. However, when you reduce the light, this is where the power of 1 lakh plus comes in, because S24 Ultra's pictures are hands down the best one. Skin tone, color, brightness and all, they are much better on the S24 Ultra. The story is the same when you move to selfies. Outdoors, daytime, H40 and S24 Ultra's pictures are good. But indoor selfies, S24 Ultra is just way ahead. And not just photos. If you take videos, the upward trend is visible. Like Redmi 12 is good, Moto H40 is better, but the S24 Ultra is the best. Also, you get those flagship features over here like Pro Camera Mode, Pro Video Mode, 960 FPS slow motion, 4K cinematic video, night video. You get the point. All of that stuff. Now, performance is the most interesting part. Like obviously, if I show you benchmarks, S24 Ultra will have the best scores. Gaming performance will be better, yada yada yada. However, if I talk about practical regular use, then it is a different story. Two reasons why. A, while the S24 Ultra and all other flagships are great, you get the latest processor, latest LPDDR5X memory, UFS 4.0 storage, all of that. But for majority people who use their phone for casual games, browsing the web, watching videos, taking calls, flagships are overkill. Like you will not be using this to full potential. Flagships are very good if you use your phone for content creation, video editing, or if you are a serious gamer. And B, on the other hand, the Redmi 12 is okay in normal use. If you push it, then it can slow down. Like see here, the shutter lag is a bit too much when you take photos. Plus in YouTube, at max you get 1080p. And if someone sends you a 4K video on this Redmi 12, see it gives an error. It cannot play 4K videos. So for majority of the people, the sweet spot in performance is the 30,000 price point. Phones like the Moto H40 and all of that. There is no lag, websites load quickly, you can easily read, you have 4K video playback and all that good stuff. Plus, here's the silver lining. With newer phones like the Poco X6 Pro, which sells for around 27,000, the performance is off the charts. Like it scores almost closer to Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. We have already done a dedicated video on this. You can check that out. But on the software side, things are a bit interesting. Like let's go by budget. Redmi 12 first. So for the price, the software is not that bad. You get 2 years of Android updates and all of that. However, you do get quite a few bloatware here, and also other phones under 15,000 do have some amount of ads in the software. The 30,000 price segment in this regard is somewhat better. See, Moto H40 software is pretty good, no bloatware or ads and all of that, and you even get additional software features like secure folder, pin pad scrambler, ready for PC and all of that. But Motorola then again has a serious problem with updating their phones. And even other phones like Vivo and iQOO at this price point, which offer quicker updates and good performance, have very different software experience. They have ads and bloatware to manage the price. So what you might initially feel is a better software experience on mid-range phones, down the line in 2 to 3 years, they get neglected pretty quick. The software game on flagship is a league above all of else. Two reasons. Number one, flagships have longer software updates, like the recent S24 Ultra or even the Pixel 8 Pro will receive 7 years of Android updates. So if you buy a flagship in 2024, it would last you until 2030 at least. You would have completed your education, got a new job. And number two, you get the latest features first. Like AI is all the buzz in 2024, and who gets it first? The S24 Ultra or the Pixel 8 Pro? Like for example, if I see a cool gadget in any video, I can just pause the video, circle this portion and do an instant image search, and you get lots of these AI features. Now whether you will use AI in future or not, but the point here is the latest innovation feature comes to flagships first. Which brings me to the conclusion. How much should you spend on a smartphone? See, like if I draw a graph and this is the price of the phone and this is value. Now, not just smartphones, be it any product, cars, bike, etc. If you keep increasing the price, initially the value also increases, but up until a point, after which no matter how much money you put, value more or less stays the same. This is called point of diminishing returns, and this point, this intersection point, is the sweet spot. So flagships lie somewhere over here. So see, if you have the budget for it and want a flagship, by all means go for it, but flagships are built for a very few people. Similarly, budget phones fall somewhere here. So if you are tight on a budget, phones like the Redmi 12 and under 15,000 are also decent, no complaints there, but the value that you will get will also be lower. For smartphones in 2024, the sweet spot is 30 to 35,000. Phones like the Moto Edge 40 or iQOO Neo 7 or Poco X5 Pro are those phones in this price range. If you prioritize your need properly, you will get the best value smartphone over here. Now this sweet spot was 25,000 back in 2020, but prices increased, and this will probably keep on increasing. But as of now, the sweet spot is this. Share it with anyone looking out to buy a smartphone. Let us know how you liked this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Sadiq signing off.